What do you do when your partner refuses to show up for your child's big moment? And how do you forgive when everything changes, right in front of a crowd? Sometimes, heartbreak can flip into hope with the most unexpected twist. The soft hum of the sewing machine fills the kitchen. I press the last button onto Maddie's pig costume, hands shaking just a little. She dances by in socks, holding a script, voice full of hope. "Mom, do you think Dad'll clap the loudest?" she asks, eyes wide. I smile and smooth her hair. "He'll clap so hard Wilbur's ears will fall off." The door creaks. Mark steps in, dust on his sleeves, phone already buzzing in his hand. "Hey, need me for anything?" he says, barely looking up. I swallow. "Don't forget Maddie's play is Thursday, 7 o'clock. I saved you a spot." He glances at his phone. "Yeah, not sure yet, hon. The boss is piling on overtime again. You know how it is." Maddie looks up, hope bright as ever. "You can come, Daddy? I want to show you my song." Mark ruffles her hair, but keeps walking toward the stairs. "We'll see, kiddo. I've got to look at my schedule." I watch him disappear upstairs, frustration catching in my chest. Maddie runs off, still humming, but the room is colder. I set the costume aside and dig through the kitchen drawer. There's the old family calendar, ink fading on the pages. I find a purple ribbon, Maddie's Wilbur ribbon, and pin it to next Thursday, circling the date with bright marker. It's the only square not covered in reminders for work or bills. Dinner is quiet. Maddie chatters about her lines and asks twice if Daddy can take a video. I promise we'll have lots of pictures, just in case. Mark eats fast, barely tasting his food, checking his work app every few minutes. "I might have to swap a shift," he mutters. "Don't want to let the team down." I force a laugh. "It's just one night, Mark. Maddie's been talking about this for months." He stands, clearing his plate. "I'll do what I can, all right? Let's not make it a whole thing." Later, Maddie lays out her pig costume and falls asleep, whispering lines to her stuffed animals. I tuck her in, whispering, "You're going to be amazing." She smiles, curling closer to her favorite toy, pink and soft, named Wilbur, waiting on her pillow every night. The house is silent. Mark stays upstairs, answering work texts long after bedtime. I sit on the hallway stairs, ribbon still in my hand, rubbing it between my fingers. The calendar looks back at me from the kitchen, the day circled in hope and worry. My heart aches every time Mark dodges these moments, always another job or excuse. I wonder if he'll ever see how much this matters. Have you ever wanted someone to show up, just once, to see what matters most to you? Did you say something, or just keep hoping one day they'd notice? Tell me in the comments. Sometimes, the hardest part is asking for what you need. I close my eyes, hugging the ribbon, listening for the sound of footsteps that never come. The morning light slips across the kitchen tile as Hannah pours orange juice. Her mind half on today, half on the date circled for Maddie's play. Frost colors the window, and the clock ticks toward 7. Maddie barely sits before bursting out, "Dad, are you going to watch me sing as Wilbur? I've been practicing so hard. I want you way up close so you can hear." Mark busies himself with his phone and barely glances up. His spoon clinks against the mug. "Work is crazy right now, kiddo," he mumbles. "We'll see, okay?" His chair scrapes back as he grabs his lunch. Maddie's smile melts, replaced with a puzzled frown. Hannah's chest quietly aches. Maddie pushes her cereal bowl, hope flickering. "I wish you could see my costume, Daddy. Mommy made me pink ears." Mark manages a half smile, ruffling Maddie's hair as he stands. "I'll try, kiddo. Gotta check in with the boss." Hannah forces a gentle voice. We'd really love it if you could make it, Mark. Maddie's been practicing her big song, Just for You. He shrugs on his jacket, eyes on the clock. I know, Han. I'll do what I can. Don't want to promise and not make it. The door closes, leaving Hannah and Maddie in silence. The day creeps by, tension simmering just beneath the surface. As Hannah loads the dishwasher, her phone vibrates with a familiar ringtone. It's Mark's mother, Linda. Hannah, dear, how are play preparations? Linda's voice is sweet, but there's a gentle edge beneath the words. Oh, you know, Hannah manages. Her cheer, only half real. I finished Wilbur's tale last night. Maddie's so excited. The only one not excited is Mark. She tries to laugh, but bitterness seeps through. Linda sighs gently. You know how my son is. He means well, but sometimes he forgets what's important. I wish he'd make the effort for once. For Maddie's sake, and yours too. My husband barely made it to Mark's school baseball games, and it hurt him more than he lets on. Hannah's voice is quieter than usual. I'm just so tired of hoping. Maddie keeps looking out the window for his truck, asking if tonight is our Wilbur practice. I don't want her to remember these nights alone. Linda's tone softens. You can only ask so many times, honey. But sometimes, if you step up for the kids, dads catch up. Sometimes they don't. No matter what, she'll remember you every time. After they hang up, Hannah wipes her eyes and takes a deep breath. She moves through chores, folding laundry, prepping dinner, all the while feeling the familiar loneliness growing. Maddie twirls past, pigtail flapping, and Hannah manages a real smile. At lunchtime, sunlight spills into a small, bustling cafe. Jessica walks in, dropping her purse beside Hannah. She pauses, reading Hannah's face before even greeting her. Okay, spill. What's wrong? Jessica starts, stirring her coffee. Hannah pauses, the words heavy. It's just, I'm tired, Jess. Tired of being the one cheering, sewing, cooking, emailing teachers. Tired of pretending it doesn't hurt every time Mark picks work or the mechanic, or even mowing the lawn over Maddie's big day. I feel like the single parent in a full house. Jessica nods, her own coffee forgotten. Sometimes men just don't see it until everything's on fire. You're not alone, Han. I've had my share of carrying it all. You can only carry so much before you're the one who breaks. Hannah sighs. I want Maddie to feel special. But how many times do I keep asking him to show up? When does hope become plain old heartbreak? Jessica touches her hand. You can't carry his side of the load forever. Sometimes you make the memory for your kid. And if he catches up, great. If not, at least you know you always showed up. They leave the restaurant with a quiet hug, each carrying the weight of things unsaid. Hannah gets home and finds Maddie in the living room, stringing paper hearts for the play. She grabs the tape and helps, the silence around them filled with both hope and fear. Alone that evening, Hannah drags a chair to hang the Good Luck, Maddie banner over the entryway, each letter a mix of painted hope and hidden frustration. She steps down, surveys her work, and holds back tears as she thinks, how many more times will she have to fake a smile for her daughter's sake before someone else finally shows up? Would you keep asking someone to show up? Or would you start making those memories without them? Have you ever felt like the single parent, even when married? How did you handle it? Share your truth in the comments. Your story might help another parent feel less alone on the hardest days. Hannah stands in the hallway, the house quiet, but for Maddie's laughter from her room. She looks at the calendar, the ribbon pinned tight, and wonders if hope is really enough by itself. The air in the school gym is alive with chatter and the sweet smell of popcorn. Folding chairs line the rows, some creaking as excited parents shuffle for the perfect view. I kneel by Maddie, straightening the ears on her bright pink pig costume, trying hard to look steady for her sake. Maddie grabs my hand, her voice nervous but bright. "Do you see Daddy yet?" She peeks around the edge of the curtain, eyes shining with hope, her cheeks pink from all the excitement. I squeeze her shoulder. "Not yet, honey, but the doors are still open," I say, forcing a big smile onto my face. Every few minutes, Maddie sneaks another look, holding her breath. Each time, her face falls a little when all she sees are other moms and dads. No sign of Mark. The gym fills with noise, teachers calling for quiet, the stage lights humming as they flicker on. I scan the crowd too, heart pounding, hoping he'll walk in at the very last moment. I keep telling myself, maybe he just got held up. Maybe he'll rush in and surprise Maddie. But as more and more seats fill, the front row is still missing one person. In my mind, I replay Maddie's words from just last night. She was curled up on the sofa, clutching her stuffed pig. "Daddy, when I say my big line, can you clap the loudest, like you did at my last spelling bee?" She'd practiced all week, acting out her moment for the two of us, eyes sparkling every time Mark smiled at her, even if his eyes were tired from work. But tonight, as I glance down at the chairs closest to the stage, my heart aches. I slide Wilbur, Maddie's favorite stuffed animal, into the extra seat in the front row, his soft pink body slumping against the top of the chair, alone amid all the company. Maybe, I think, if her dad isn't there, at least Wilbur can keep her company. All around us, other kids squeal and hug their parents. Flashbulbs go off, dads perch on the edge of their seats, clapping and laughing. Everything blurs together in a crowd of bright happiness. Maddie stands still, her little hands folding and unfolding as she waits. She turns to me, bottom lip trembling. "Do you think maybe he forgot?" I kneel, wiping a stray bit of glitter from her cheek. "Maybe he's just running late, but I'm right here, and I'm going to clap louder than anyone." "You're going to be amazing, Maddie." She nods, but her eyes search the doors one more time. I don't know how to fill the space his absence leaves in her heart, but I keep my smile big and keep my phone ready to record every second for him to see. I take photo after photo, Maddie with her friends, Maddie lined up by the painted backdrop, Maddie glancing one last time around the crowded gym. My hands tremble a little, trying not to let her see. All I want is to give her the night she's been dreaming about. But inside, all I feel is the ache of wishing for more. Backstage, Maddie tugs at my sleeve. "Mommy, will you wave at me from the front so I know where to look?" "Of course I will. I promise." Kiss her forehead. She gives me the biggest hug, my little Wilbur full of hope and nerves. The drama teacher calls for quiet, and I squeeze Maddie's hand as she lines up with her castmates, eyes wide and hopeful. "You can do this," I whisper in her ear. She steps toward the spotlight. I take my seat by Wilbur, the empty chair beside me, holding all the things I wish I could fix. The lights begin to dim, the crowd goes silent, and Maddie takes a deep breath as the curtain starts to rise. If you've ever watched your child wish for someone who didn't show up, how did you hold it together? Did you try to cover their sadness or let them feel it? Share your story in the comments. Sometimes, just knowing you're not the only one makes it easier to keep clapping. As the music starts, I grip Wilbur's soft paw in my hand, the empty chair beside me, heavier than ever, and prepare to give Maddie all the applause in the world. The crowd's cheers fill the gym as the final song ends. I stand for Maddie, clapping hard, trying to make up for the empty seat beside me. My hands sting, but my smile doesn't fade. She catches my eye from the stage, grinning as she bows, pink pig ears slipping over her forehead. I catch the moment on my phone, heart aching, pride jumbled with sadness. Backstage, the cast buzzes with excitement. Maddie walks into my arms, cheeks flushed. "Did you hear me, Mommy?" I sang really loud. I squeeze her tight. "You were the best Wilbur ever. I got everything on video for Daddy. He'll be so proud when he sees it." Maddie glances down, voice shaking. "But he didn't come, did he?" "No, baby." My voice catches. "He had to work late, but I cheered extra loud for both of us." Her chin quivers. "Why doesn't Daddy want to see me be Wilbur?" I kneel, meeting her eyes. "He loves you, Maddie. Sometimes grown-ups forget what's important or get scared. But tonight, you were brave, and I was so proud." The crowd empties into the cool night. Jessica waves from her car, her daughter Abby bouncing in the back seat. "Want a ride home? I heard there's a late-night ice cream window open." Before I can answer, Abby's already calling, "Maddie, let's get sprinkles." Maddie's face brightens a bit. "Can we, Mom? Please." "Of course." I nod, and we pile into Jessica's car, playbills and costumes filling the trunk. Abby, pepper Maddie with questions about the play. Maddie giggles, the heaviness fading a little, in the sugar-sweet air of melted vanilla and rainbow dots. Jessica looks over, voice soft, so only I can hear. "You held it together. I saw how hard you tried for her." I shrug, unable to find the right words. "I just wish she didn't have to learn disappointment this young." Jessica glances at Maddie. "All you can do is show up. One of you always did. Don't forget that." She squeezes my arm, the gesture full of shared understanding. Back home, the house is dark. I unlock the door, Maddie sleepily dragging her costume bag behind her. I usher her in, kick off my shoes, and walk to the kitchen. I slice the last piece of play cake, put it up on a plate, and lay it beside the program on the counter. I leave a note in the looping marker. "You really missed something special tonight." For both of us. Maddie brushes her teeth, quietly, slipping on her pajamas, Wilbur the stuffed pig tucked under her arm. I guide her to bed, smoothing her hair back from her forehead. "Mommy, will Daddy watch my play on your phone?" "Yes, honey. I'll show him everything," I whisper. I keep my words steady, my hands gentle. She hesitates. "Do you think maybe next time he'll want to come?" I nod, swallowing the lump in my throat. "I think so. He loves you, Maddie, even if he doesn't always show it the way you wish." She sighs, eyes heavy, and she hugs Wilbur tight. "You were loud when I sang. Thank you for clapping, Mommy." I tuck her in and kiss her cheek, forcing hope into my voice. "I'll always clap for you." Walking down the hall, I close Maddie's door behind me. The house is so quiet now, only the hum of the fridge and the faint echo of applause from hours ago. I take a deep breath, reading the note on the kitchen table. My sadness hasn't faded, but something shifts inside. I decide, if Maddie's going to learn anything from this, I want it to be that showing love sometimes means doing the thing that hurts, and doing it anyway. Have you ever felt let down by someone you love? Maybe your partner, a parent, or even a close friend. On a day that really mattered, did you respond with anger, sadness, or did you find a way to forgive? Share your feelings in the comments. Sometimes, letting go is the first step, and your story may lift up someone who's hurting tonight. The night stretches quiet as I sit alone on the stairs, looking at the ribbon on the calendar and thinking about forgiveness, what it costs and what it can change. The garage is still and heavy, with late afternoon light as Mark sits at his old workbench. A dog-eared baseball card slipping through his fingers. The air smells faintly of oil and cut grass. Each day since the play, Mark has moved through his life on autopilot, muttering quick words, dodging phone calls, and keeping his eyes on anything but his own family. Guilt sits thick in his chest, but he doesn't know how to turn back and face what he's missed. A car door slams outside, jolting him from his thoughts. Linda, his mother, steps into the garage with practiced ease, carrying 2 steaming mugs of coffee. She sits beside Mark, careful not to crowd him, but close enough to break the silence. "Hey, Mark," she starts, her voice gentle but steady. "I've been thinking about you, and about Maddie." He sighs, not looking up from the card. "I know, Mom. I've messed things up." She watches the way his thumb circles the battered corners, her own memories flickering behind her eyes. "You know, when you were a kid, every time you'd play ball, you'd look up to see who'd come to cheer. Your face would fall when you saw that empty space in the stands." Mark's throat tightens. "It never really leaves you, does it?" His voice is low, tinged with memories he doesn't often admit to. Linda places her hand over his, a layer of warmth in the cool garage. "It doesn't. That's why I wanted to tell you. You're not your father. You can change it for Maddie, but you have to be willing to try." Mark rubs his eyes, the old flash of being 12, glove in hand, scanning the crowd for a face he needed. The letdown, the silent ride home, pretending it didn't matter. He shakes his head, frustration breaking through. "What if I freeze up out there?" he asks quietly. "What if I embarrass her? I don't know how to sit in crowds, Mom. I hate the idea she might see me cry. It's stupid, but it's real." Linda's face softens. She clasps his hand tighter, squeezing just enough to keep him anchored. "Maddie won't care if you cry or if your hands shake. She wants her dad. Not perfect, not unbreakable, just present." Mark stares at the play program on his workbench. Photos of Maddie smile back at him, the bright circle of her Wilbur ribbon caught in stage lights. He wishes he could go back, clap for her in the fullest way, be everything she dreamed her dad could be. Linda nudges him gently. "You don't get many chances, Mark. But as long as you're here, right now, you can still make new memories. You can be the dad she remembers because he tried, not because he ran." Mark swallows hard. All his excuses, overtime, bad crowds, his own awkwardness, sound smaller now. For the first time, he understands that facing his fear is better than watching Maddie's eyes search for him and only finding an empty space. He looks again at the baseball card in his hand, its edges smooth from years of worry. Slowly, he sets it down on the bench, the card finally allowed to rest. He glances at the play program, running a thumb across Maddie's picture. A new resolve builds in his chest. "I'm going to make it right, Mom," Mark says, standing up slowly. "Whatever it takes." Linda's smile is proud and a little sad. That's all anyone can ask. As dusk settles outside, Mark remains in the garage for a quiet moment, holding the play program close. The fear isn't gone, but for the first time, it comes with determination. He pictures Maddie on stage, her hopes shining out into the crowd, and knows it's time to step forward, even if he's scared. Have you ever carried the weight of old hurts when trying to be there for your own child? What helped you face that fear? Or did you stay on the sidelines? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your honesty could help a parent or partner who needs to choose courage over regret. The garage is quieter now. Mark stands, program in hand, and steps into the fading light, ready to face his family and himself, one imperfect but brave choice at a time. The school auditorium buzzes, the sound of chatter mixing with the rustle of playbills in the close air of too many people packed in for the big night. I sit next to Maddie behind the curtain, smoothing her hair and fiddling with the edge of her ribbon. Every time the doors open, Maddie looks up, hope rising in her eyes, but each time it fades. I tell myself not to look for Mark anymore, but I do, over and over. Maddie whispers, "Mom, maybe Daddy's just late." Her voice is tiny, full of quiet hope. I brush her cheek. "Maybe, sweetheart, maybe." As the audience takes their seats, the principal welcomes everyone. The house lights dim, and Maddie hurries to her place with the other kids. I hide my worry behind the camera's little red light, determined to capture every second. Mark or not, backstage, voices buzz that Mr. Harlan, the janitor, just got sick. He was supposed to play the brief role of the carnival announcer. I barely registered the rumor at first. The drama teacher, Mr. Bryan, dashes backstage, a prop hat flopping in his hand. Is there any adult who can step in for a quick walk-on? Anyone? A moment later, Jessica nudges me. "Look at the wings," she whispers. A hush rolls through the cast as someone steps up. A familiar-eared, nervous-looking dad, zipping into the striped red vest. It's Mark. My heart drops, then leaps, my brain refusing to believe it's real. From behind the curtain, Maddie peeks out. Her whole face changes. Shock, then wide-eyed joy. "Mom, that's Daddy," she mouths, bouncing in place. On stage, Mark stands awkwardly under the lights, script pages trembling a bit in his hand, knees locked. He clears his throat, does his best at the bouncy carnival bark. "Step right up, folks. Don't forget to cheer for the amazing animals, especially Wilbur, the pig with the world's biggest heart." His voice cracks. There's a titter from the audience. Then, everyone leans in, realizing what's happening. When Mark locks eyes with Maddie in the wings, a smile breaks through his nerves. Right before his exit, he adds, "And you know, the loudest clapper gets a ribbon tonight." That's the rule at our house. It's the same silly line Maddie made him promise to say if he ever came. Laughter ripples through the room. Then a few sniffles. The kids backstage nudge Maddie, who glows so bright, "I swear you can feel it on your skin." Hannah's voice, narrating. In that moment, nothing felt impossible. Every old wound, every missed game, every lonely night just sort of melted for a second. All I saw was my girl beaming. Her dad, finally, bravely, right there, not hiding in the shadows. Mark, shaking but smiling, stumbles off stage. Someone pats him on the back, and the kids break into happy chaos behind the curtain. The play rolls on, but it's different now. Suddenly, lighter, safer, real. When the final bows come, the applause is huge. Parents cry, phones snap photos, and Mr. Bryan cracks up, muttering, "Best sub I've ever had." Maddie rushes to Mark, throwing her arms around his waist. "Daddy, you did it. You really came." Cameras flash. I wipe my face, heart pounding so hard my hands shake. For a moment, I just stood there, watching them. It isn't perfect. I can't forget all the empty seats before this. But tonight, his courage changed something deep. For Maddie and for me. Later, in the wings, Mark kneels, hugging Maddie as she laughs and cries at the same time. "You were amazing, kiddo," he whispers, his voice thick. "You made me brave." I walk over, tears still wet. Mark stands, looking sheepish. "I was scared, hon, but I couldn't miss her twice." "Not again." I nod, too full to speak. What would you do if someone you loved finally showed up in the most public, vulnerable way? Could you forgive? Or would the old hurt still linger, Share your honest answer in the comments. Every story of hope or heartbreak can give someone else the strength to look for change. The play ends with a standing ovation. Mark and Maddie hug under the bright lights, cameras bursting around them. I watch, still not sure if this is real or just the miracle we were waiting for. Backstage swirls with noise, kids peeling off costumes, teachers snapping group photos, parents hugging their proud little stars. Under the glare of fluorescent lights and the chaotic buzz of celebration, our family finally comes together. Maddie is the first to spot Mark, bounding over and throwing her arms around his waist, squealing, "Daddy, I can't believe you came on stage." Her cheeks are flushed with joy. Her hands cling to the edge of his shirt as if he might disappear. Mark kneels, breathless. "You were the real star, Maddie. I felt like I was on Mars out there." He laughs, sheepish, rubbing his eyes as if he can't quite believe it happened either. Jessica, holding Abby's hand, weaves through the crowd to us. "Well, look who's the new hero of Willow Creek." She shoots me a smile and squeezes my shoulder. "You all needed this." Maddie's friends run up, chattering. "Your dad was so funny. My mom said he was really brave." Even Mr. Bryan, the drama teacher, tips his hat. "You saved the show, Mr. McCormick. We need parents like you." Parents and teachers circle, clapping Mark on the back, someone snapping a photo as Maddie beams at her dad. Through all the congratulations, I hang back, awash in relief, but a shaky kind of disbelief. I clutch the playbill in one hand, tears drying on my cheeks. Mark catches my eye. He stands, brushing pink glitter from his jeans, and walks over to me, Maddie still gripping his hand. He takes a breath, voice loud enough for those around us. "I need to say something." He looks at Maddie, then at me, then out to the scattered group of teachers and family friends still nearby. I've spent too long making excuses, hiding from these moments out of fear or work, or just not knowing how. Tonight, I was scared. I thought I'd mess up or embarrass you, Maddie. I think I was only hurting us by staying away. His voice cracks. "I'm sorry, Han. I'm sorry, Maddie. You both deserved more from me. I promise, no matter what, I won't miss another big day. Not for work, not for fear, not for anything." Maddie presses the Wilbur ribbon into his hand, grinning. "Now you get to wear it too." Mark pins the pink ribbon to his shirt, right over his heart. Shaky fingers, fumbling just a little. The act, small and silly, quietly roots him in the family's story. Proof for everyone watching that something has changed. The applause in the hallway fades as families drift home. Jessica hugs us tight, whispering in my ear, "Let this be a new start, Han." Later at home, the three of us collapse at the kitchen island. The house feels different, lighter, warmer, with laughter echoing between sips of chocolate milk and mouthfuls of leftover play cake. Maddie swings her legs, refusing to let Wilbur, the stuffed pig, out of her sight. "Daddy, did you like being on stage?" Mark smiles, a softness in his voice. "I was so scared, kiddo, but you made me brave. I'd do it again, just to see your smile." Maddie giggles, cheeks still rosy. "Next time, you have to sing." I clear the plates, glancing at Mark out of the corner of my eye. His hand rests on the table, thumb brushing the ribbon he's still wearing. He catches my gaze, voice low. "I was wrong, Han. All those years, I let old fears tell me I didn't belong. I never realized staying away would hurt you and Maddie so much." I sit beside him. "We can't change the past, Mark. But tonight, you showed Maddie and me that even grown-ups can be scared and still show up. That matters more than you know." We talk long past dessert, about old hurts, all the times we wished someone came to clap for us, and how hard it is to break the habits we learned as kids. Mark listens, not just to answer, but to understand. As dishes are washed and pajamas pulled on, the house settles. Maddie falls asleep, clutching Wilbur, her dad's ribbon fastened beside hers on the little memory board above her bed. I pause in the hallway, catching Mark watching her through the cracked door. He whispers, "Thank you for not giving up on me." I squeeze his hand. "Thank you for finding your way to us. Has someone you love ever let you down when it mattered most, and then tried to make it right in an unexpected way? Did an apology or a brave gesture help you forgive, or did the pain stay?" Share your story below. Your honesty might light the way for someone needing hope tonight. In the quiet afterward, Mark and I sit side by side, hope and regret mixing into something new. Sometimes it takes one big scary step to start a better story. For you, for your child, for your whole family. The leaves outside the window turn gold as fall winds down, and the world feels softer, fuller than it has in years. The days after the school play pass slowly, each one carrying a little more hope. Mark, once background noise in the blur of family life, sets his alarm extra early on Saturday to cheer for Maddie from the sidelines of her muddy soccer game. His voice is awkward at first, but the pride in his eyes is real. No missed moments, no empty seats. At the school art show, Mark stands next to Hannah as Maddie tugs their hands, pointing out her painting with shining eyes. "My dad's here," she tells her teacher, confidence blooming brighter than her watercolors. Other parents wave and smile. A few nod in silent recognition, knowing how rare this moment once was. Tuesday nights turn into pizza nights, just the three of them piled around the old kitchen table. Flour dust in the air, laughter echoing like music. Mark fumbles while rolling the dough. Maddie bosses everyone around, and Hannah catches herself smiling just a little too wide, amazed how regular can suddenly feel magical. Maddie starts telling her friends at school her favorite story. "My dad was on stage. He wore a funny vest. He made everyone laugh, even if he was nervous." The teacher listens, nodding, making a quiet note about the light in Maddie's eyes. A confidence grown from being seen, not just loved from a distance. Hannah's voice carries over scenes of this new normal. Healing in our family came slowly. No big speeches, no sudden forgiveness. It grew day by day in small choices. Mark didn't erase the hurt, but he let us see his heart, messy and real. Forgiving didn't mean forgetting. It meant believing change was possible if we all kept trying. She watches as Mark hugs Maddie after a tough game, high-fives her over a C+ spelling test, and offers to help paint the set for the next school project. Sometimes he still messes up, arriving late or fumbling for the right words. But now he's there, and that's what matters most. One Thursday, Hannah finds Mark pinning the worn Wilbur ribbon and last month's playbill to the fridge, right next to Maddie's newest crayon masterpiece. He catches her watching and shrugs, a little embarrassed. Just wanted to keep the good memories close. She kisses his cheek, grateful. For him, for second chances, for every little risk they took to get here. Have you ever given someone a second chance after they let you down? Did it change your family, your trust, or your heart in ways you never expected? What advice would you give to someone afraid to hope again? Share your story in the comments. Your words could be the light someone else needs to believe that small steps and brave choices do add up, that families can heal, sometimes when you least expect it. As music drifts from the next room and Maddie's laughter rings out. The camera closes on the Wilbur ribbon and the playbill, now a proud centerpiece on the fridge. It's proof that a family grows not from perfect moments, but from the courage to choose love and forgiveness, one curtain call at a time. If this story moved you, take a moment to think about your own family's second chances. Has someone in your life ever surprised you by showing up when it mattered most? Maybe after letting you down before. Share your experience in the comments. Your words might inspire someone struggling with forgiveness or hoping their family can heal too. If you believe that even small steps and brave choices can bring a family closer together, don't forget to like, share, and follow for more true stories about hope, change, and the power of showing up. Remember, sometimes all it takes is one real effort to begin a brand new chapter.